5, 4, 3, 2, showtime.
Greetings and good afternoon to all my listeners and viewers out there in the Primal 4K app, 50 FM 96.7, Facebook, YouTube, and welcome you all to Primal Sports Center. I'm your host, Dale.
And I'm Kane the Schwab Watson. Sorry
Alright.
for the late start. We had some technical difficulties in studio, but the show must go on. We do apologize, but we're here, and let's get the show on the road.
Yes, and I have to also apologize for missing the show last week. I had to attend the national table tennis trials here in Jamaica. Being one of the coaches, they insisted that I take part as an observer at the trials, and I'd like to big up all of the players first and foremost, the ones who qualified for the team. It was first three past the post, and on the female side, young Kira White came out on top, and in second place, Harissa Petrikin from Waterhouse Club, and in third place, Jenna Lewis from Sutter Club. So those were the top three finishers in the female section. And on the male side, we have an interesting finish here. We have Mark Phillips, our current national champion, coming out on top. We have the veteran Rowan Lewis making his first national team, and also Odinga Mitchell making the team. So that's the three, and they will be going off to the Dominican Republic in just about maybe a month and a half from now. And all the best. And it was a good trials. It was good. Very interesting. And a lot of these guys, first time. A matter of fact, even on the girls' side, first time making the team, and it was a good thing. We see young Kira White. I must admit that she raised eyebrows at the tournament with her play. Young player. She's still in the under 15 category for winning the senior event at such a young age. Hats off to her. All right, Ian.
Yeah, moving from one racket sport to the next. Lawn tennis, as we attended the Davis Cup tie, Group 2 tie between Jamaica and Barbados last week, Sunday, for the final day, where they went into the day 1-1, tied up 1-1. Trust me, it was an interesting match, as Jamaica and Barbados, I see, as two top countries within the region. But unfortunately, we didn't stay in Group 2. We lost 3-2 with a nail-biting finish, to say the least. And we're now down in Group 3.
Yeah.
We saw where Barbados defeated us 3-2. But it was 1-1, and the important match is the doubles match, among other matches, but the momentum from the doubles match gave Barbados a 2-1 lead.
Yes.
Yeah. And we saw where two top seeds, Bicknell versus
King.
Darian King, a top player from Barbados. Not so active on the circuit again, but reached heights, qualifying for major Grand Slams in the past. But we saw where Bicknell defeated him quite easily, 6-1, 6-0.
Yes.
And I thought Bicknell showed his class right there and showed that he's the man of the present. Hats off to King, seeing me coming out there. Saw him with a brace on his knee. Went out there, fought nonetheless. But Bicknell right now is a top player. And I was impressed with his performance in the last match, where it went 2-2. Saw where Randy Phillips lost to Kuiper Marshall 3-2. To me, it was a match of who could, play more tactical, because both had the game to beat each other. But in the end, I thought Kuiper Marshall got off to a better start. It was 1-1, and that bullet start led him to a 5-love lead, and eventually he closed out 6-2. But hats off to Randy Phillips. He fought. He even lost to King down 5-love in the third set again. Battled back to 5-1 and lost 7-5. So he showed the heart of a warrior. I know he wanted to win, but you're out there playing, you give it your best, and the result is the result. But hats off to Barbados, hats off to Jamaica, and I saw where the president said, at the end of the day, tennis was the winner, because good tennis was on display, and it showed where these two countries showed a lot of, I would say, investment in the sport to where they are now and look to be in the future. Because even so, Kuiper Marshall seemed to be young, strong, fit, tall, have good ground strokes. We know, as I said, our own Randy Phillips, and back to Blaze, tell us what you saw of Blaze, because we were both sitting there watching that match.
Blaze seems to be the real deal. You know, it's the first time I actually watching a tennis match live here in Jamaica. Blaze seems to be the real deal, up and coming. So I think he has a future in the sport. All right. But,
I mean, future in the sport, right? No, I think he's current, he's present. Because
when I say future, my standard is a little bit higher than the Caribbean and the region.
No, but I mean, he's winning ATP series.
When I say future, I'm talking like reaching the first round at Wimbledon and moving on further on.
Yeah.
Go on.
I think that can happen. No,
that is.
I don't think it's a future. I think that can happen this year.
I think he has to improve a little bit more on his serves. I think he needs stronger serves overall.
Yeah.
But I think that he's on the rise for me. From what I saw, so he made some incredible shots. You know, a big.
And even so, if you don't know tennis and you went to support it, and you watch the players out there, you would see a difference with him and the other players.
It's a big
with
difference.
with the speed of the ball, the strokes he make. I mean, ease and comfort on the court. You could see the difference with his level of play right now versus the others. Not to knock the others, but you can see that, hey, this kid is above the rest.
He's above the rest. Even though I would say that King seemed to be carrying an injury. And for me now, this is where we had a problem in the doubles. That's what let us down. But King played the doubles as well, and I saw King basically couldn't move forward. Really, more lateral movement. But when he's supposed to come in, you see, he was laboring a bit. So I didn't see the doubles match. So I was kind of wondering, how did we actually lose that doubles with King on the court with a bad knee?
Down to tactics.
And it was our two best players playing at the time.
I guess it was down to tactics. I didn't see that match.
I didn't get to see that match. That's the only. I would have loved to see that match to see exactly what happened, because
and that was a close match as well.
Exactly, they went to 3.
Yeah, but I mean,
1-1.
But as I said, the level of big net. When I read the newspaper and see him winning these tournaments, be like, maybe it's a little core goat tournament. But then when you see him beat the number 143 in the world, be like, well, that's impressive. Maybe it's a fluke. But then now, when we go actually and see a play, not to say that we thought it was a fluke, or thought that, hey, he's not on the rise. But when we actually went there and we saw him playing, I see him make a forehand shot. And I mean, him just turn the corner and just pound the ball. I'm like, yo, that's levels. That's levels. So, hey, the sky's the limit for him. And he's young, he's strong. So, provided he's healthy, and I know he's in tune. And I mean, tennis, next up is, as I said, professional level, playing majors, improving his world rank. I think he's now 319. And I mean, after that victory, after this Davis Cup time, he will drop further. And I'm sure by the end of the year, he's knocking on top 150.
Should be.
Once he goes out there, plays the tournament. I don't know his schedule. Hopefully we get him on the show. And I mean, few other tennis players, because they have been on the show before. And we see what's in store for him in the future. And for Jamaica as well, seeing that we're now in Division 3. We're looking to move back up next year. But I like the projection that even Tennis Jamaica is moving towards. Because we see where we go there, we see there's stands, people there. I mean...
From that angle, I agree. I like the projection from that point, because it was a good setting in terms of
professional.
Yeah, man. The presentation of the event was top class.
Even on a arriving event, I was like, is this turn again? As we saw security out there, they say, hey, man, you can go up here. So, all right, you go up there, you see this, you see that. We'll go in, we'll get directed. I mean, seats there. I mean, refreshments are there. It just feels like an atmosphere that you would just go again. So, I mean, from that standpoint, from a fan standpoint, it was also great to watch.
Yeah, the presentation. But from a level of getting the level of our country up, I need Tennis Jamaica to spread the sport more. That is what I would want to see. I want to see some of the real talent within this country playing tennis. And not to say these guys aren't talented enough, but I want to see people from Clarendon. I want to see people from Trelawney. I want to see the sport be more inclusive.
Come to the people from Mandeville.
I was
Oh,
going to touch
well,
man.
them playing wonderful. Yeah. You
I
know,
was
them
going to
play.
touch a man, but
Yeah,
but
all over, all
I
over.
would love, and I can tell you when I went there and watched, I can see why people love tennis. The points are long.
Yeah.
You know, you can see what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, I'd love to see some of these explosive athletes, track and field, try them hand at tennis. You know, can you imagine these guys hitting the ball?
I don't agree with that part.
I don't mean track and field.
Why track and field?
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I want to see the sport spread a little bit more throughout Jamaica. And I think if that happens, I think we're going to have world beaters very soon.
Yeah, but then again, you have to look at the costs of setting up tennis and courts. It being an outdoor sport.
I think Tennis Jamaica have financial backing. Enough financial backing.
You know about
spread
these pockets of these.
Of course.
The pockets
These are all big giants in the private sector.
Yeah.
We know
security
them.
companies and all.
Yeah,
But
man, these are affluent people, man. So if we can spread it more, you know, I think in the maybe 5-6 years from now, I can see we're having a Davis Cup team in the top
tier. Yeah, because we're always there. Because we went to Estonia, we lost a close battle again to Estonia, looking for promotion to Group 1. We fell down where we were in a tie with Barbados, and we lost to Barbados and now in Group 3. So it's a game of inches. We could have been in Group 1 after this whole Davis Cup year, but now we're in Group 3. But even so, our level is right there within Group 2, and we're knocking on the door to go into Group 1. So if we get an next player like Bicknell at that level again, we see the youngsters now, Chin and others coming up, get the exposure, and everybody at their peak at the same time going out there. As I said, within 3 years, I think we can be in Group 1. 3 to 5 years.
I
With this projection that we're heading in 3 to 5 years, I think that we can be in Group 1.
Yeah, and I say it all up to Tennis Jamaica. Once they do the right thing, I think this sport can grow. I think we have the built. We have a lot of people with the built and the genetics to really play good lawn tennis.
I think we can play anything.
Yes, we can play anything, but tennis is a bit different from even the sport that we play.
Yeah. More rigid.
It's more physical in terms of height. You need a little bit more height. Not to say if you're short you can't play, but you have an advantage with the height. Yeah. So and I think we have a lot of people here in Jamaica that I know if them take up a tennis racket and they learn the sport from early, I think I think we can excel faster in tennis and even table tennis. I think so. I think so.
Table tennis is
very technical.
Asian brain.
It's way more
Asian
technical
brain.
and you know what I mean?
Table tennis is Asian brain.
And the surface and the fact as a bigger surface area, so it plays into physical strength, and I think that's what we have.
The Chinese.
Exactly.
And you look who dominates in tennis, the Europeans.
Exactly.
The Europeans are
bigger and stronger. You know, but we are bigger.
Europeans/Americans.
But we are bigger, stronger, and what else? Faster.
So what are we lacking?
Yeah. We need to spread the sport. That's what's lacking. The sport needs to spread.
Oh, I see Peter laughing in the background. Peter.
That's what we're lacking. We need to spread.
Lacking the investment.
Yeah, man. Spread the sport more. I see courts all over the country.
Yeah.
I go all over. I see tennis courts all over the country, and it's always empty.
Yeah.
You know, so if they can do more marketing.
But even you look at the ones that win in tennis, are they big and strong?
Well, all right.
Especially on the male side.
Especially on the male side.
Are they big and strong? Djokovic.
Here's the problem with the male
Djokovic
side.
are like what, 6 foot?
Here's the problem.
Nadal 6 foot.
Here's the problem with the male
Federer
side.
like 6 foot.
In Africa, these guys are not going to play tennis. They're going to play football.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
No, nothing is wrong with that. So that's what I'm getting. Right
African.
Now. So if the African they won't play tennis because it's harder. It's more investment earlier, and then you have to.
But I'm just saying, the tennis players aren't big and that strong.
Look at Serena.
That's an anomaly on the female side.
I'm saying to you.
But I'm sticking on the male side. Even one that said black people who play tennis.
You have very few of them.
Tiafo is small. Felix is small.
Yeah, you have very few.
Monfils is slim and tall, but he's not big.
Why would I have one African?
Because there's football.
That's my point. That's my point. But we can do it here in Jamaica.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you don't need to be big and strong to play.
No, I think it's an advantage to be explosive and tall. That's what Serena brought to the female game. She brought power.
She wasn't explosive and
No,
all.
she was powerful.
That's not explosion. That's just that's strength.
No, no. For a girl,
So for a girl, she's probably
6
like-
foot. She's 5'10", 5'11".
Oh,
Serena is
about
tall
five,
for a
about
female.
5'9", about 5'8", 5'9".
No, Serena is
Oh,
5'10".
about
Her
5'8",
sister is
5'9".
about 6'1",
Yeah,
6'2".
yeah, sister is tall. Yeah,
No, her
yeah.
sister was world class for Peter. You mean don't talk about her sister?
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Venus was world class.
Yeah, Venus is a great. But
But I'm saying,
those are numbers.
I'm saying though, that's an advantage for tennis, and that's what Serena and that's what they brought to tennis. It was an advantage.
Serena Williams was 5'9".
Yeah, 5'8", 5'9".
5'9".
In heels. Yeah, I'm telling you, she's 5'8", 5'9". But even so, that's a good height. That's a good height for a female. But what she had over them wasn't explosion, I think. It was more strength.
Yeah.
She wasn't quick around the court like that.
No. She was
She
explosive.
was powerful.
Powerful.
Yeah,
All right.
powerful,
Well,
yeah.
you want to get very
Yeah.
technical with
But
it.
the thing is, she had more power than the other females.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point that I'm making.
So you're saying if a male counterpart comes in and has more power than the males,
What I'm saying is this.
I think
I believe in my
you have to
opinion.
be flexible.
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
in every sport.
elasticity.
In my opinion, I believe
lawn
if
tennis.
Africans invested in table tennis, I believe they would be world class.
In any sport, will be world class.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm.
All right, guys. We just got. I know we're taking calls in this segment, no?
No. After sports commentary. Yeah, Peter will announce that after he wraps up sports commentary in a few. But yeah,
But I would love to see. I can guarantee you this game. If
Africans can be on top of any sport. I think.
point.
Yeah, so can Chinese. So I don't think it's down to race per se.
No, it's not race. I'm talking about.
So why we don't
gift.
have more Africans tailored into tennis?
Yeah.
Because there's football.
That's my point.
Everybody wants to play football.
Everybody gonna play
and that
football.
big contract down Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
You see any Africa
But-
denying any contract going down to Saudi Arabia?
Exactly, but we here in Jamaica, we have that.
Cool ball, eh?
We have
Man,
that gift. We have that gift here in Jamaica.
Yeah. To do anything.
We have the genetics here in Jamaica. We
To
have
do
the gift.
anything.
And I believe if tennis really.
Why do you think
spread
that
the
is?
right way-
Why do you think that is the case?
Why-
Because our motto, out of many one people.
Exactly.
We mix up with everything. Out of many one people, we can do anything.
Yeah,
I mean, look at Tess and Chin, singing.
See,
I mean, you name it.
This is why-
We have people
why
that can
table
excel
tennis
in
is
any
different.
field.
this is why table tennis is difficult because it doesn't demand so much of your natural gifts. And this is why table tennis is difficult. It's that thing that you have to learn.
Yeah.
But you see, some sports, it requires more of that natural gift. Like track and field requires more natural things. Lawn tennis requires some amount of natural gifts as well.
Yeah.
But table tennis,
Yeah, what naturally you can have.
exactly my point. Exactly, because you don't have to be. You understand? It's like basketball.
You learn, it's
some
a
of
trend, yeah.
Some of it is
You have to be
natural.
tall, you have to be
You know what I
tall,
mean? So
quick.
some sports requires natural, some form of natural gifts that you're born.
Yeah, and then you combine that with what you learn and the skill and
all of
practice over time, dribbling,
Yeah.
spending hours in the gym. But yet still, you have to be. I look at Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson could have been a great QB if he wanted to be.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
But Allen Iverson couldn't be a great table tennis. He has to learn to play table tennis.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, Allen Iverson could probably run 10-6 if he probably wanted to on a court. I'm sure he's quick. Allen Iverson quick enough.
Yeah, of
So if you
course.
train him like for 2-3 months, Iverson run 100 meter, no time. Yeah. If you train me for 30 years, I can run 10-6.
Exactly.
But yeah, I get your point what you're
Yeah,
saying.
man,
But
but anyway, it was great, and
Yeah.
and I'll be back. I'll be back because as I said, the
anytime I Davis
presentation.
Cup time, I'm
Yeah,
going
man,
down
the
there to watch.
presentation was good. So people, if you've never been to a lawn tennis event or tournament, I think you should. You should
And next thing, even though the sport is being pushed and marketed, I think it can be pushed and marketed more.
yeah.
I definitely think so. And as you said, I like the trajectory they're going.
Yeah, man.
On court, off court, I think more can be done, as you said, pointing out to more tennis across Ireland. I just pointed out to the marketing factor. I mean, on the court, I see where the standard is raising.
Yeah.
And even so, that it's not a knock on the Tennis Association. They're doing a great job. And we love it. And we go there because we're into sports. We love it. And we give them the support and all of that. But I mean, the push that they're on, I said, and they are bucketive.
Yeah, man.
We expect greater things from them in the future. Because, I mean, as the point that President made, tennis was the winner on the day. And hats off again to Barbados. I mean, big up on yourself and all the best in group two. We'll see you back next year. I'm coming back for revenge, but hey, our Caribbean brothers over there in Barbados, representing doing well. Yeah, so
We're not from Group 3 down.
yeah,
So what time it is now?
I think it's time for the controversial boss in a few.
Yeah,
but
a few minutes.
but last week you missed out on the show and we were talking NFL and I said, hey, we were 1-on-1 because you picked
San Francisco Niners.
San Fran
and Ravens.
Ravens
over
finals.
Chiefs,
I picked a Chiefs and Lions final.
Yeah.
But now we have 1-1 in the final. Chiefs versus 49ers. And I know you're going with 49ers for the win.
As
Are you
usual,
serious? I know you like to switch your talk, you know.
And
But tell the people them who listen out there.
I'm not going to
Who you
switch.
think going to win?
But in terms of the legacy and the storyline,
Oh, jeez.
I really want Mahomes to win because I think Mahomes.
Oh, gosh.
I want him to go down as one of the greatest.
Oh, gosh.
So, but I can't. But I said this when I went against.
You're playing
Mahomes,
it safe. You're playing it
No,
safe.
but I'm going with San Francisco. I'm going with
So
the
anybody
team.
win, you all right then?
To be honest with you, it's the first Super Bowl. I don't have a problem with either team,
winning.
you know. But Brock Purdy is another storyline, you know,
Yeah.
coming from basically from nothing to something. So he's another. That's another big story. But I think San Francisco have the better team, more explosive.
After
team.
sports commentary break this down, because you're playing it safe on the fence.
Yeah,
You're saying,
yeah.
the storyline for Mahomes will be great. And then, San Fran.
Remember,
But when we have a
one
bar talk, sitting down, having a
one
drink
of
of
my QB, man.
iced tea, lemonade, or one of those soft drinks, you're saying other stuff. Because when Lions had the 49ers down at halftime, you know, I remember saying to you, hey, what's up over there? I'm going to be 2 for 2. And then as 49ers come back, oh gosh, I see the look on your face.
Yeah, man, the coach make a mistake. Never take the field goal, went for the
Tell
fourth
you
and
what.
one.
But we break down NFL and Super Bowl after sports commentary. And seeing that we have a 1-hour show, it's time for sports commentary.
Greetings, gentlemen. We must apologize for the late start today. We had technical problems, serious technical problems. Couldn't solve them in time. So we apologize for the late start, but we're glad to have you here with us. Jamaica hosted Barbados. Jamaica, with a population of 3.2 million people, hosted lowly Barbados, a tiny island in the Caribbean Sea. 180,000 people are Bajans. Did you guys know that?
No, I thought it was more than that.
180,000. It's probably 280,000. But this the size of Port Morant or Yallas. If the population of Barbados could be housed in Yallas, and yet Barbados managed to humble Jamaicans at home. We put on a good show, yes. I like the show. It's a good presentation, and it was very uptown. You know what I mean? It was a very uptown presentation. But at the end of the day, we came there to defend the city, and we failed to defend the city. And we need to ask ourselves why Jamaica, with a population of 3.28 million with an M, Jamaican people, is losing to lowly Barbados, a tiny island with probably less than half a dozen tennis courts and probably less than half a dozen tennis balls, if you want to know. Why these people eating flying fish and cuckoo is turning up on our thing and beating us, humbling us, mighty Jamaicans. Jamaica, the land that produced Bob Marley, Usain Bolt, the third world band, Reggae Boys, is losing to Barbados. Why is Barbados, whose Prime Minister, Mia Mottley, is suddenly taking over the leadership role in the Caribbean? We have Andrew Holness. Why is Mia Mottley becoming the voice of the Caribbean? Why are these funny talking friends of ours from Barbados beating us? Something is wrong. I think that Jamaica need to deepen the pool of talent because we can draw from 3.2 million people, 30 odd premier high schools, 100 and odd high schools, rather than just Ligony Club, rather than just Constant Spring Club. I'm not saying anything, but we need to draw from a wider pool of people because Jamaica, you know where Usain Bolt came from? Falmouth, a tiny, the same population as Barbados. But the point is that Jamaicans, talented Jamaicans are everywhere. And I think that Tennis Jamaica is doing itself a disservice by having too small a pool to draw from. It's good to see Mr. Bicknell playing and young Bicknell and young Azar playing and those guys, but we need a wider pool of tennis. We need an all Jamaica tennis champion. In the same way like table tennis. When Kane Watson was in the past the champion of Jamaica, he was a champion for all Jamaicans. Me too. But you get my point. It's a wider pool. There's a difference between table tennis and tennis, you know. Everybody has had a chance to play table tennis and be the champ, right? Everybody has had a chance. And round this table, two of us have been the champ. So we know what it's like to know that we represent fully the sport. You know, tennis requires a lot of investment though.
Yeah.
And therefore the people who can make the investment often make the investment. But then do they have an incentive to have a wider pool? Or is there an incentive to have a narrower pool? Even speaking of the pool, big Davis Cup match playing, and Jamaica used the same two players for singles, reverse singles, and doubles. Maybe they were a bit tired. It's very stressful playing at home, you know. It's very stressful playing at home because there are times when I've had to defend the city. I feel the weight of Jamaica on my shoulders. You know, I can't just give up. I have to play on because people from Savlamar, St. Thomas, Rocky Point must know that their champion, Moo Young, is there, or even Kane Watson, defending them. You follow what I'm saying? So we need to widen the pool and we need to spread the thing around. Whisper made before I move on, in tennis, Mr. Rutherford, the captain, complained that, first of all, the normal coach is Mr. Spence. I didn't see him there. Was he there?
Yeah.
Because I tried to reach him and I heard he was overseas.
Spencer.
Mel, yes.
Mel was there, man.
Okay.
You never said that?
But Rutherford was given the captaincy and Rutherford complained about too many voices. Now we need to go deeper and ask what were the voices that he was saying affected the tie. I saw Big Nell get up and as the big man and say, I am responsible for this loss. But Rutherford said that there were too many people trying to give advice, creating confusion and so on in the camp. And we need deeper examination of that, you know. Because if you give a man a job to do, you must leave him to do the job. And if he makes mistakes, I don't want to hear him blaming other people. This guy coached the team sometime. Very rarely I make him make excuses. You know, and he has a lot of opportunity to make excuses, given his mediocre success rate. But anyway, Whisper made his debut for Chelsea under 18s, and or 18s, under 19s, sorry. And from the little bit I saw of it, he had a good little run with the ball. Very promising indeed. I think that Whisper is the goods, and we wish him well. So I was happy with that. In football, there's some talk that we're going to introduce a new card in the game.
Blue card.
A blue card, which is the reason why we all decided to wear blue today in protest of the blue card. Guys, you got the memo. But the blue card is going to be something else when a man commits a foul that is in between the red and the yellow, I suppose. And you're going to be put into the naughty corner to come off the field for 10 minutes and then come back on the field. A little bit like ice hockey. I never liked that rule. And I think that the football cognizant, the gods, must have gone crazy because that is not necessary in football right now. The game works perfectly fine. I think creating a 10-11 mismatch on the field is going to change the tactics of the game and it's going to make the game less interesting, the truth be told. It's going to also cause people to, because I sent you to the box, I sent him to the box. And then we'll have a 10-man game. Then what we'll have games where we have 3 people in the box. Madness. That's what I say. Now, Jack Warner come on the air the other day and say he's now, vindicated. And I went and looked a little deeper. Has Jack Warner been vindicated? Jack Warner, FIFA wanted Jack Warner, you know, for the sin. It's not FIFA wanted, the US, the FBI wanted Jack Warner for the sin of taking bribes from Qatar and awarding the World Cup to Qatar. So let's look on this matter just for a few minutes. The USA wants to be the police for the whole world. Eh? The USA, the long arm of the USA wants to punish Jack Warner. Because I wonder if you guys knew that USA was trying to get the World Cup. Yeah. And so they hurt them feelings when the World Cup was given to outside people. And if you want to know the truth, the USA and the FBI went and started looking to see if money played a role. And indeed, money might have played a role. In fact, money surely played a role in the award of the World Cup. Now, Jack Warner wasn't vindicated for not taking money, you know. Jack Warner wasn't vindicated for not being guilty of these things. What happened with the Supreme Court is that they merely ruled that it's outside of our jurisdiction. It's outside of our jurisdiction. So Jack Warner is not being vindicated for bribery and for corruption and for all these things. Jack Warner is merely not being prosecuted by the USA because he's outside of the reach. So Jack, don't get it twisted and don't go out and say, boy, freedom, Jack Warner. You know what I mean? The fact is that you're just being tried in the wrong court. The world will judge whether Jack Warner is in fact guilty of the crimes as stated. Now there's a big game coming up tomorrow. The Super Bowl is coming on between two teams I do not know, and another game that I do not understand. So, but I will watch a Super Bowl if for only one reason. I hear that my brethren Usher will be performing his catalog. It's a good catalog at the Super Bowl. But then again, I think the Super Bowl missed it because this week I was hoping that they would have picked the hot man at the moment to display, and that guy would be my choice for Super Bowl would have been Burna Boy. I think if Burna Boy had come and played out his catalog at Super Bowl, it would have been a great win for the world. But then this is just for the USA, as far as I'm concerned. Finally, I see one of my favorite artists did a song the other day about getting in your feelings and all this kind of thing, and it was just a hit and run. So she has a song where she's singing that she just did a hit and run. Next week on this show, I will deliver my counteraction to Shensia's hit and run. That sports commentary. What say you?
Peter and him Shensia, boy. I tell you, you forget Shensia on the show one of these days. Yeah, that was sports commentary with the controversial boss himself. Yeah, and he touched a bit on tennis as well. And by the way, there are like 300,000 people living in Barbados.
200?
300.
300.
Between 280 300,000.
Population increase.
Yeah, 300,000. 300,000. Yeah.
Minus the team. 299.
But yeah. But yeah, you touch on a few points there that we spoke about earlier on. But we want to see more investment in tennis.
We heard the rumblings from the captain, Rutherford, about outside influences or noises, the way he put it.
But that's in everything.
Yeah, that's in everything.
That's everything.
But the way he
I
stated
mean,
it,
if Randy Phillips had won that much, he'd be coming out and saying this.
well, maybe not.
Probably Barbados would be saying, "Oh, officiating was poor at a lot of close line calls went to the home side and all of that." But I think tennis was the winner. I think tennis was the winner. It was good tennis on display.
I think they came down on him for playing them back to back. But when was this doubles match played? Was it played on the Sunday? The Sunday morning?
Yeah.
It had no impact. I thought that he made the right decision based on the fact that he must have knew that King had an injury.
Yeah.
He went for Blaze to play and went for Randy to play.
I thought that if we had won a doubles match, Blaze would have closed out. So you have to go for broke in the doubles match,
that's
regardless of Randy probably being tired in the final match.
Exactly. So I don't thought when you watch Randy play, Randy wasn't tired.
No.
Randy wasn't tired. I watched the match. I thought that maybe them come down hard on him for playing them back to back, and then him come up and say to him, noise and external influences. You don't know.
There's always a scoop to be had. Hopefully we can get that scoop later on.
He made the right decision, in my opinion.
He did not think Randy would be BJ number 2. That's the bottom line.
Exactly. So he went for broke.
That's correct.
Yeah. Of
to
course.
go for the doubles match. And that would have been the swing match.
I cannot blame him now. Him should just keep his mouth shut and say we lost and maybe somebody was there
a close match.
causing some ruption in the camp. But you lose, kind of just make it stay as that. Because you
they were the best team.
Say the noise is stay at home. Tell the people who.
And I don't think it affected Blaze's play in the fourth match.
Affect Blaze's
I don't
play.
think it affected Randy's play in the last match.
Guys, I'm focused.
Yeah. And Randy in the second set, Randy find a second win.
Yeah.
Made a few adjustments.
Yeah.
And one was like 6-1. 6-1 in the second set. I mean, just totally.
For me, the Bayesian had something a little extra more than Randy. For me, watching the Bayesian play, what's his name? The guy.
Kuiper Marshall.
Kuiper Marshall. He have a little bit more than what Randy. Based on how I see Randy play, Randy is just consistent. Yeah. But the Bayesian had a little bit more to his game, a little bit more variety to his game.
Some back. Yeah.
On the bench. Was there? No, which one?
Chang? Who's Chang? Chin. Chin.
I saw him on the bench. I think so. One of them was there on the bench.
But even so, Randy Phillips, big player. Go out there and fight. I mean, he make some adjustments, I say, in the second set. But then Kuiper Marshall made some adjustments again in the third set. And even so, that first 2 games were close. If Randy had started out and won that first with that break, because he was up a break point, and was like
more than one break point.
Yeah, if he got that first break, it would have been reversed, and I think he would have made a push in the beginning and probably got momentum 4 love, 5 love up. But those first 2 sets saw Kuiper Marshall, he took the lead and then he ran with it. And momentum, we know momentum in sports, but it's not a knock on any both players. It was apart from score, it was a close match. Because the last set was 6-2, it was a close match. And
close.
I mean, if Randy had that first break, it would have been a different story.
So Rutherford, that's easy. You know, you made the right decision. It never worked out, and that's sports. You know.
Back to NFL, man. How are your take?
All right.
You go all over the place.
All right. So Chiefs.
It's not like you want to draw. You can't draw somebody for winning.
I'm going with the Niners.
You're going with the Niners.
But I'm telling you that Mahomes, you know, I like greatness. I like to watch greatness.
Yeah.
And you know, so I wouldn't mind if him win it, but I'm going with.
Give us a score prediction. Give us a score prediction.
I'm going for maybe 30-27.
30-27 to the Niners.
Of course.
I'm going 31-23 to the Chiefs. 31-23 to the Chiefs.
Wow.
I can't bet against Mahomes. I mean, 49ers have 2 big players out there, 2 game winners. But Mahomes, with the ball in his hand, I mean...
He's not playing too bad overall. Even
but remember, Mahomes have the ball in one, you know.
Yeah.
And him full of weapons, you know. Full of weapons. If you give him this, he's going to give you that. Yeah.
As I say, I won't
if
have
it come
problem.
down to 49ers, can the run game win, or you trust Brock with the ball to deliver?
I think Brock is a good.
No, he's a good quarterback, but he's going up against one of the greatest.
I think what's important is for him not to.
And do you think the moment will be, I mean, too big of a stage for him? Stage fright. Remember, Mahomes, he'll be walking out there like, hey, this is like Sunday dinner for me.
Purdy is gonna be up to the coaching staff to help settle him down in the early stages of the game.
Yeah. By
using more.
Back to the Lions versus 49ers. The Lions muffed it, you know.
Of course.
The Lions muffed it.
Of course. I think the coach is down to the coaching staff.
If they start out against the Chiefs, like how they started against the Lions, Chiefs won't make that mistake, although I don't really rate Randy Reid like that. But Mahomes won't make that mistake, you know. And Mahomes have clock management. Can kill with the run. Can kill with the pass.
Yeah.
Kelsey right there, big weapon.
Yeah.
I mean, 49ers have Debo and McCaffrey, but...
listen, it's up to the coaching staff to settle this kid down. You see, once...
I think the moment
don't have him passing the ball too early. Let him hand it off a couple times and make him warm up and get adrenaline flowing. And
not any knock on him. I rate him. He's a good young QB. But he ain't no Joe Burrow.
No, not yet.
Yeah, because Joe Burrow is legit.
Yeah, man.
A couple other QBs, but Mahomes is the top of the pile currently in the league. And one of the greatest all time. So far, and he's just having a 7-year career.
But
I don't see him bucking him toe.
I told you this already. I said if Mahomes beat the Ravens, the only problem is that Lamar them that never show up to make it be a real showdown.
And Lamar Jackson, I think the moment he just it's like
I crown Mahomes over Brady already. You know? I have Mahomes as a better QB than Brady, and I tell you, if he beat the Ravens, but the only thing that
you said it's like it's a knock on Brady. That would have Brady as number 2 then.
Yeah.
Are you Joe Montana over Brady as well?
Boy,
can you want to push Brady way down?
I have Joe, I have Brady, and I have Mahomes, and I'm going with Patrick because Patrick have more to. maybe not in terms of experience, because I
And
know
achievement so far.
the QB position is not just about how if he can throw the ball, if he can process things on a different level. And I think Tom might still be a little bit above. But if you ask me who would I pick for player match, I'd definitely take Mahomes because he have more things to his game.
What the thing is now?
Just like Joe had more things to his game than
The thing is though,
Tom.
if you pick one of these to win a match, they'll all win. But it depends on who they're playing. So if you pick in Mahomes, I'm going to pick Brady and I'm going to win. But if I pick another person, then you're going to win.
No,
so who is taking Mahomes to play against?
I'm taking Mahomes to play against
I'm taking Mahomes as well to play against anybody except Tom Brady.
No.
Because, hey, 2-0, hey, you can't top that.
Which 2-0 that you talk?
I mean, Brady beating Mahomes twice.
Beating a QB in him first year, that can't count.
But you're comparing his first 7 years to Brady 20 years. And saying him better than him. So you're contradicting yourself right there.
No. The first season, when he lost.
And then the second one was.
I don't think it's Tom Brady.
Tom Brady coming out of retirement.
The umpire them get Tom again.
With
the offside, with the bogus offside call. And yeah, man.
Oh,
bogus.
you guys.
But anyway, I think Mahomes is a better QB right now than Brady in his 7th year.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mahomes is the number 1 QB of all time. I put him.
So you
right
put
there.
Mahomes, then Montana, then Brady.
Boy, I really love Montana.
I know,
Brady,
I know you like Montana.
Everybody talking about the 7 rings. Brady got a lot of breaks, a lot of breaks. I rate Brady still, but he got a lot of breaks.
Sorry, do you remember the phone lines are open? 1876 552 7406.
Compact show, but we know Froggy is waiting. But Brady got away with a lot of things, man. Come on.
And lost 2 to the Giants and some
incredible catches and passes.
I don't even know how.
By Eli.
Yeah, I don't even know how those catches.
So we're on Eli Manning.
Oh, come on.
Eli is not even in the top 13. Not even in the top 30.
Not even top 100, bro.
Come on, Eli Manning.
Anyway,
let's
not go there.
Let's not go there.
Let's not go there.
People, it's time for Froggy in 5.
I'm here once again. Salute. So since we're on tennis, I'm just gonna make it short and spicy. What Jamaica is lacking in football, in terms of the football team and how we play? Creativity. And for a nation that is personally, Jamaicans are probably one of the most creative persons in the world. We know how to create stuff, but when it comes to sports, we lack that creativity. Some sports. And I think that final match with Randy, creativity and how to win that game was lacking. And it goes back to a point Peter mentioned in a couple of episodes ago that there was a poll done where they said tennis now is merely power than persons actually being tactical about it. I remember back then with Andre Agassi and Peter Michael Chang and so on. You had to find ways to defeat your opponent because you were all on this level platform. So it's not about who can outpace who. It was what trick shot you have. What can you do to pull that player out and beat him? I didn't see that, Randy. It was merely trying to out-rally and see how best you can beat him. You have to find some ways and means of defeating your opponent other than using pure power and pace. And I think that was what was lacking in that final game. Creativity on how to defeat an opponent who is vastly more superior, taller than you. So what are you going to do? You can drop it short. And I know they normally say, oh, it's not easy to drop a ball short on somebody, it's hard. But these guys are professionals. They know what to do. They know how to get the game done. And I think for that particular thing, that particular game, and how we lost it, we can't blame Blaze. He did what he had to do out there. And our number 2 played against a one-foot man in his first game. And in the doubles, kind of choked again. And in the final game, so in my head, I was wondering, wasn't there anything being said between the coaching staff and the players? Wasn't anything passed on from player to player to say, hey, this is how you play this guy because this is how he plays? So I think the creativity and how to defeat that opponent, that was what made us.
Why you can't just give Barbados credit? Winning. I mean, Kuiper Marshall made adjustments as well. Yeah, it's two persons out there.
Yes,
people make adjustments.
That's why I said the creativity on Jamaica's
we were
side.
one break point away from Phillips having the momentum and running away the match. He was right there.
Yeah, but our creativity.
I think it's two players at the same level.
Randy King.
Not Randy King, Darren King.
What's his name? Darren King. When I saw Blaze started to cut the ball and drop the ball shot, him couldn't move,
Yeah.
So I was wondering, how did we lose the doubles? That's the only thing I was wondering. How did we lose the doubles?
And even so,
how did even?
But even so,
to Randy.
But even so,
exactly one point.
but even so, King with his injury, match after match, you don't think his mobility will get less? The first match he probably was fine.
Yeah.
Probably fitter. And then
Yeah.
returning the next day would probably be tough on him, but yet still him get rest. And after the doubles match, probably nothing was left. So just saying.
I was just
But even
wondering-
so, Kuiper Marshall, one I said from Randy, from Blaze, you know.
Marshall is a good player.
Yeah, and Randy fought. Randy made adjustments. He came back, and then Kuiper made adjustments. And he saw it with his serve in the beginning of the third set.
Yeah.
But even so, Randy was a break point away from having that momentum. If he had won that first game, the last set, it would have been a different story. So it's just, I played table tennis matches, and I mean, the first 3 points, I even played Peter in a match. And me and Peter, I'm going to say to myself, if I reach 5 before Peter knows I have him. Because we on the bad side. You remember that match, Peter? We're on the bad side. I'm going to play tactical. I'm going to say, no, King, push the 5. If you had reached 5 before me, I'd be like, 5-4, maybe we'll go around, we might have a chance. But because I had that lead and we swap and win that environment, precisely. It's a game of inches. Me not going to be like, oh, it's a game of point. I might have won a net point or an edge point. Who to tell at the point in time. And it pushed. It was a break point away. And I said, I give Barbados credit more than we making a blunder. I'm not looking anybody to play him.
Yeah.
Randy went out there, he fought, and he lost a Randy demolished him in the second set. You know?
Yeah, man.
And the first set, him should have win. Remember, him up in the first set and him lose. And him come back and make an adjustment. Because we're saying, why not try something against serve? And he see him tried. And he make adjustment. How he make adjustments? You think somebody tell him, I must come to himself. And then the last set, him start bad. Not him to start bad. It was one break point away. Just game of inches.
You think we're wrong?
No, we should have beat Barbados.
Do you think that the 2-3 points are million people? We couldn't beat the 6 players.
So what you say about Brazil and France in the Women's World Cup against us? I'm just saying the population.
It's just one question I have, and because I never see the match, I won't comment.
The doubles.
It's just I would have loved to see what happened in that doubles match. That's the only question I have.
Yeah.
That's the only question I have.
And I said it in the
I have
show.
no other
And I said it in the show that the doubles match is a swing match, is a key match. And we know that third match, because we've played tied before in table tennis, where if we win that third match, we'll be like, yay, and swing matches, you know. You send me or Simon out there up 2-1, you know that one of us go and pull it off just to get that third match. So I'm saying, when you lose the third match, it's kind of tough. But yet still, we see where Blaze come out and it was down to 2-all. I ran it down, I'm going to see him go say boom and rally back, win that set, and then the last set, just a slow start. And then... And even so, he started slow again against King. Down 5-love, come back 5-all, lose 7-5. I would have loved to see that match as well. But I give Kuiper Marshall a lot of credit.
No, man, Kuiper get the credit, but I just can't understand we lose to a 1-foot man. That's my problem. We lose to a man with a half a foot.
In the doubles.
Yeah, man, it's a generally we lost to.
We probably never have 1 foot games Randy. I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know. I didn't see that much.
That's my only problem. How we lose to this man with this
man? Man have levels.
Him have levels still, no. But this man, when him supposed to move forward, him could hardly move. One time I scream out.
But tennis is not that much. You really make people move forward. You know?
But let me just say,
it's harder to make people move forward in tennis.
But you can't. Let me just say,
but you make him move side
it
to
still
side.
comes back to what I said. Barbados have an injured player, and they still had to use him because this is a small country, a small pool of players. You have a country with a large pool of players.
We don't have a large pool of players. You already said it. You already said legal.
We know people. We know we started late, but you know we're out of time. We're out of time already, and we could continue this discussion whether we should have won or. Well, I give Barbados credit.
Of course, I give Barbados
them credit. And I'm just curious about the doubles match. That's all. I didn't see it, so maybe I forgot to watch it. But we're out of time. We're out of time. We're out of time.
Big match tomorrow, NFL Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't get to touch on Shelley
right now.
announcing her retirement. We talk about more that next week. She's saying she's retiring after Paris. I even big up, unveiling a Kobe statue. I love it. I know Kobe is my mentor. Kobe is like, hey, mama mentality. Big up that as well. But next week. No, it's not really news, but we have to talk about it. And then we break down her career and what we expect from her in Paris when she stays healthy. But again, great show.
Yeah.
Big Super Bowl match tomorrow.
Yeah.
I have the Chiefs winning 31-23. You have the 49ers winning
30-27.
30-27.
Yeah.
Next week we'll see who the real shrub is.
All right.
Again.
No problem.
You know that's me.
No
you know
problem.
shit.
But one
That's my
big up
time.
all the listeners. I know you guys we started late. The listeners in Trelawney, Fit FM 96.7, Primal 4K, Facebook, YouTube,
World Wide Web.
And who's up next?
It's DJ Q.
All right. So people have a good afternoon.